Good morning. How are you guys? Good. All right, let's try it one more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. What we're going to do is talk about some things that I wish I had learned early on that will help you be successful. They are lessons that, frankly, many times you're not told about, so you're lucky to hear about them. And my name is Edward Swan. My background is that I attended a trade school. I grew up in Detroit. I attended a trade school. It was not a school like Booker. Booker's a great school. There was a small college prep program. We had cooking and baking. We had pipe shop, electrical shop. Literally, it was a trade school. So I went to college and I wasn't very well prepared. I then was in the Air Force. I was an Air Force officer. By the way, the college I went to was Tufts University. You may not have heard of it, but it is a very, very good school. I spent 4 years as an Air Force officer. I went to graduate business school. Ultimately, I was president of an asset management company, a company that managed money, pension fund money, for cities and states and large corporations. So that I had a pretty good career. But the point is that it started from a place where I wasn't as well prepared as you folks can be. The sponsors for this program are Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. Someone tell me what a fraternity is? Yes. Most times you think of a fraternity as a college, group of people in college, having parties, etc. Well, you know what a sorority is, by the way. It's the same thing for women. This is what's known as a postgraduate fraternity. The way you get into our fraternity is that you have been successful in your career. So we have people who are university professors. I was also a university professor. People who were in the military, people who are lawyers, people who are doctors. But one absolute criteria is that you have been successful in your career. So that's our fraternity. How many of you know about the University of South Florida, Sarasota Manatee campus? Okay. How many of you have been there? Terrific. It's not far away, but it is one of the options that you may have when you graduate from Booker if you get good grades and if you participate in some extracurricular activities. So along the way, with your education here, you will find out about the university. We will also have speakers from the university coming to talk with you about various career options. So, what's it mean to be successful? I mean, I know Ms. Miller has given you some homework, asked you to think about it. What's it mean to be successful? What's it mean to you to be successful?
Come to school and do your work, I guess.
Hey, that's the start. That is a great start.
Get a job, make a lot of money.
Okay, for some people, being successful is making a lot of money. Have your own house. Bear in mind, though, that if you want to, for example, be a chef, maybe success isn't about making a lot of money, but it's about working in a great restaurant. Or if you're an artist, maybe success is having your painting or your sculpture in a great gallery or a great museum. So I say that only to say, yes, with success can come money and stability. But also, there are other things that are important with success depending on what career you choose. So we've kind of talked about the benefits of being successful. You can support your family. You feel better about yourself. People look up to you. But how do you know if you're on the path to be successful? Say your name so I...
Robert.
Okay.
Good grades, scholarships.
Okay. Good grades. That's certainly the first step on the path to be successful. Well, it's what... How would... Go ahead. Tell me. Striving and working hard. That's certainly one of the things, if you want to be successful, you have to do. But what are the other ways that you know you're on the path to be successful? Well, what would you say?
That you're feeling like happy with how your life is going in.
Okay. So I think what you're saying is that you've established some benchmarks for various points in life, and you're happy that you're reaching those benchmarks. I think that's where you're going. Okay. Anything else? Well, those are the important indices for, are you on the road to be successful? Getting good grades, you're continuing your education as needed. I mean, if you want to be a mechanic, an auto mechanic, that's terrific. Okay? You may not need college for that. Academic college. You may go to a technical college. Well, okay, are you on track to do that? So, for whatever it is you want to do, think about what are the benchmarks? Where do I need to be? What do I need to be doing at each point? What do you think is required for you to be successful? I mean, what are some of the characteristics? And this was part of your homework. What's required? Yes?
What I think is required to be successful is like working well with others. Be a big help.
Believing in yourself.
Those two things that were mentioned are really important. Working well with other people. Rarely is someone successful working alone. Believing in yourself. How do you get to believe in yourself?
Just tell yourself you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
And believe that you can do it.
Okay. All right. Part of believing in yourself is actually saying, I can do it. Okay, it's convincing yourself that you can do it. Now, convincing yourself that you can do realistic things. It isn't real smart to try and convince yourself you can jump off a building and fly. Okay, so be realistic about it. And you'll find that you'll do those things that you've set out. You had your hand up. What else?
You have to stay out of trouble because if you get in certain trouble, some jobs won't hire you. Like I just made an assault charge and they won't hire them.
That's great. We're going to talk about that later. That is really important. Your personal history will follow you. And we will talk about that. But that's a great observation. All right. We're going to go through the exercise. One of the most important times in any relationship is when you meet the person the first time. So we're going to go through a little exercise. And what I want you to do is pair off. Okay? Just pick a partner. Everybody pick a partner And I'll show you what the exercise is. It's how you introduce yourself to someone. Good morning. I'm Ed Swan. How are you?
Great. I'm Greg McDaniel. Great to meet you.
Terrific meeting you. All right, what happened? Now, I know it might look a little silly to you, but what happened? One, you look the person in the eye and are really sincere in saying that, you had a...
The good first impression.
That's right. That's right. That's what you want to do when you meet someone. Make a good first impression. So you look them in the eye. You tell them that you are pleased to meet them, because hopefully you are. You say your name clearly. You listen to their name. You repeat their name back. Now, that is the standard business way of meeting someone. You're not always going to do that. I'm not saying you're on a playground and you're getting ready to play basketball that you're going to do that. But if you want to make the best possible impression in a business or academic setting, that's what you do. You had your hand up. I'm sorry.
Dress nice when you go into a business. If you
That's
wear,
right.
like shorts and flip-flops at a business,
That's right.
they're not gonna hire you.
That's right. Dress appropriately. We'll get to that. We will get to dressing appropriately. So when you first meet someone, you look at them directly, you shake their hand, you say your name clearly, don't mumble, don't look down. When you shake someone's hand, you're not trying to, it's not a contest to see who's strongest. And repeat their name. Those are the things you do. All right. What's this next bullet mean? God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Why is that important?
Have a conversation,
Okay.
listen with your ears, and talk with your mouth.
Yeah. You can't have a conversation if you're doing all the talking. You had your hand up over there. Well, it looked like your hand is up. What do you think? What's that mean?
Talk clearly, listen to what they're saying.
I can't hear you.
Talk clearly.
Okay, talk clearly. Listen to what others are saying. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Yes.
A dude I used to say, he used to be a businessman, he said listen with your eyes, so like you're looking at them
Mm-hmm.
like the whole time.
That's a very interesting insight. Speak up a little bit and repeat that. That's an interesting insight.
Listen with your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
so like you're looking at them the whole entire time,
Mm-hmm.
so that means like you're listening, and you're like zoned in and not.
That's right. Looking at someone while they're talking is an indication that you're listening. But that's really smart, because also you pick up visual cues by looking at people when they're talking. It helps you better understand what they're saying. Okay. Ask questions if you don't understand. Really important. We're all afraid to ask questions. Why are we afraid to ask questions? Somebody. Yes?
Sometimes we're afraid that we'll look dumb.
That's right. That's right.
Mr. Swan, would you repeat their responses for our audience?
Sure. We don't ask questions sometimes because we're afraid people will think we're dumb or stupid. And you know what? If you have a question, I can guarantee you, and you're in a meeting or a room full of people, I guarantee you there are other people that have the same question. Absolutely guarantee it. But they're afraid to ask the question. So when you ask that question, I know I've done it. People have come up to me afterwards and said, I had the same question. Take notes. Ms. Miller has talked with you about taking notes. I see some people writing. I see some people not writing. You won't remember unless you take notes. What's that top one mean? Yes.
Don't like do anything like you'll regret. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Post a picture of you doing something very stupid.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great idea. And anybody, well, I can't.
Don't send something that you don't want everyone to know about.
Thank you. You guys are all, you're all on it. Don't do, text, say, email, whatever, anything that you wouldn't want on the front page of the paper. There was a congressman who lost his election because he sent pictures of himself that were inappropriate. Didn't think anybody would find out. He sent them to specific individuals. But it surfaced. I guarantee you, when you are interviewing for a job, they will search your electronic record. If you go in the military and you need a security clearance, and if you can't get a security clearance, one, you may not get in the military, or two, if you get in, you will never rise very high. They'll search your electronic footprint. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Emails, it's there. That stuff does not go away. You may think you've erased it, but it doesn't go away. Set high standards for yourself. That's pretty self-explanatory, but put a little meat on it. Somebody, what's that mean? What do you think that means, setting high standards for yourself? Lady in the back hasn't, there, you haven't said much. What would it mean to set high standards for yourself?
Don't settle with what you have. Try to keep moving forward.
Okay, good, good. Anybody else? What about don't be average?
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Well, but don't be average. You can do better than average. Keep your word. Why is that important?
Because they're supposed to trust you.
Say that louder,
Because
please.
they're supposed to trust you.
Right. If you don't keep your word, people will not be able to trust you. And trust is one of the most important things you have. Be on time. I should really change that. You're either early or you're late. What happens, I can tell you in business, I assume it happens in other environments. There will be, if there's a meeting of 10 people and they're going to make decisions about something, there will be 5 to 6 people who will get there early. 5, 10 minutes early. And they'll be talking. And they will make the decision. You show up just in time for the meeting, assuming you're not late. You show up just in time for the meeting. We're not part of that initial conversation. You aren't going to be part of the decision. It's not just enough, really, to be on time. Be early. If you've made a commitment to be someplace, be there early. And show up prepared. What's that mean? What's it mean to be prepared? And you haven't said anything.
You should have everything you need.
Okay. Everything you need. All your supplies. What else?
To be bored.
Be ready to, I wouldn't say that.
Or like listen and I don't know.
Okay, yes.
Like, when you said be prepared to take notes, so people are to get a piece of paper and a pen,
Mm-hmm.
that's being prepared.
Mm-hmm. What about thinking about, go ahead.
Like being prepared for a meeting and what you're gonna talk about.
Thank you. Thank you. Understanding what's going to be covered, being prepared to discuss what's going to be covered, having an opinion. Okay? That's what being prepared means. And people who are prepared are people who are going to have the highest impact on that meeting and make the best impression on everyone else there. Stay current in your profession. Never stop learning. That's pretty self-evident. I won't spend a lot of time on that. But be science and technology literate. I told you that I worked in a Ford plant making engines when I was young. And the people that were doing the jobs, the job that I did, no longer have jobs. Okay? That job that I performed is performed by a robot. The people that remain to have jobs in that plant are people that learned how to program the robots. This is all to say that there are requirements for whatever it is you want to do. Learn those requirements and then try and stay ahead of whatever technology is going to affect that job. All right? How do you learn how to clearly express your ideas in writing? How do you do that? Yes?
Like, to clearly express your ideas is like saying, like state your point, like,
Mm-hmm.
like not like go on and on about it, but like state it, like what it's gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Any other ideas about how you clearly express your ideas in writing? What about one of the ladies in back there?
Who, me?
Yeah. No, you do know. Now, come on. How would you go about clearly expressing your ideas in writing?
Just write how I feel.
Go ahead. There's no wrong answer, so don't worry about it.
I said just write how I feel.
Write how you feel. Okay. Anything else? Well, one of the things you want to do when you clearly express your ideas in writing is perhaps understand where you want to be at the end of the document, what you want to accomplish, then perhaps putting a logical outline together, and then filling in the outline. There are some steps that you can go through. Being an effective public speaker. How many of you have spoken in public? Do you like it? Okay. Of those that haven't spoken in public, are you afraid? Does it bother you? Do you worry about it? Anybody? Who hasn't spoken in public? Okay, how do you feel about it?
I'm like scared.
Scared. That is, what about you? How do-
I don't know, like when you go there, you forget what you're talking about.
Okay, well that's reasonable. It is reasonable to be afraid. Everyone is afraid and nervous when they speak in public. Okay? Everyone's worried about forgetting what they're going to say. That's human. But the way you get around those things is ensure what it is you want to say is well thought out. Prepare answers for questions you might get, and practice. That doesn't mean memorize. That means practice. Go through it several times. What's this last bullet mean? What do you think the last one means? Someone who hasn't said anything. Okay, well, you've said something, but go ahead.
If you think you're the smartest person, there might be a smarter person in the classroom.
Bingo.
It just doesn't show it.
Bingo. That's it. Did you hear what he said? Never make the mistake of being arrogant enough to think you're the smartest person in the room. Because, yeah, all of you are smart. But there are people you're smart about various things. And never downplay. Probably the smartest people in the room, or possibly the smartest person in the room, is somebody sitting back in a corner who hasn't said anything, but may really understand the topic that's to be covered. Be helpful to others. What do you think that means? It means more than just on the surface. Give me an idea. What do you think it means? Yes, you do. I'm not going to let you off the hook. What do you think it means? It's pretty straightforward. Say something. Go ahead. Okay. What do you think, anybody? What do you think that first bullet means? Yes.
To help those and guide those when needed,
Okay.
and that may reflect back onto you.
Not only will it reflect onto you, but if you help people, other people may help you. Your success in your career isn't going to be built on just what you do. There will be people who will help you along the way. If you help people, they may help you. If you do things that are unhelpful to people, they will definitely do things that are unhelpful to you. What about the next bullet, understanding goals and expectations? How do you make sure you understand goals and expectations? Yes?
You know what you're going for?
Okay. Yes.
So you know what you have to do and like when?
Right. Right. Say that again so everybody can hear.
So you know what you have to do and when you have to do it?
Okay? So you understand goals and expectations. That also means that you need to ask questions. So you're clear about what's expected of you. I mean, your boss may say, I want you to do X. And you don't want to feel, uncomfortable about that. But you're not real sure. Stop and ask a question. Because if you don't, what will happen is that you're going to spend a lot of effort. You may do the wrong thing. What do you think the next bullet means? Putting in the extra effort. Right there, what do you think that means? Mr. Gonzalez, go ahead.
The effort.
Go ahead. Go.
Can you repeat the question?
Which one are we on?
Okay, put in the extra effort to achieve goals and expectations.
Extra credit. If you want to get
Yeah.
a better grade, then do the extra credit.
Right, right. You're only going to be average if you just meet the goal. Okay? You need to put in extra effort. Dress appropriately. I think that is pretty straightforward. If you're not sure how to dress, ask someone who's been in that environment and who's been successful. Good hygiene. These are things you need to do. Not everybody in every circumstance can have their clothes fully cleaned and pressed, but do the best you can. Manners. Nobody wants to sit across the table from somebody with food hanging out of their mouth. Okay? Good table manners. I will tell you a story about personal courtesy. We were on the Suncoast trip, as you were, my wife and I. And we held the door. We were in Miss Miller's group. We just happened to hold the door for some students going through. And there were probably 20, 30 students went through. One student said, "Thank you." One student, maybe two. But on two occasions, I remember there was this one student that said, "Thank you." Now, we didn't expect a whole lot of people to say thank you, but I'm also not a doorstop. And it just seemed like it would have been courteous if people said thank you. It also is the case that I sit on a committee that awards a scholarship. I remember this student. And if I'm still on the committee, when it comes time to award scholarships, I remember who this person is. The scholarship can be worth, I don't know, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Meaningful. I will work to get that student a scholarship. Just because they stood out and were courteous. Manners. Good manners are important. There are websites that you can go to that will help you with that issue. People hire people they like. What do you think that means? In the blue back there. What do you think that means?
People usually hire the people that they like because of the reason that they like them, because they know that the person that they like is the person that they want for the job.
Okay, a little bit. Somebody else? You. What's that mean? Yeah, you.
I guess the reason they're hiring them is because they know they'll do a good job.
That's part of it. Part of it. The minimum requirement for getting hired is that you believe the person will do a good job. This is over and above that. This is over. Yes.
So what it means when they talk about people hiring people they like, if your manager doesn't like you, then he knows some other employees aren't going to like you.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. If the manager knows that he doesn't like you, it's a good chance that other people aren't going to like you, and that person will be disruptive. Remember, there are more people needing jobs than there are jobs. Just be a decent human being, a likable person. Stay in touch with current events. So in summary, I'm on time?
10 minutes.
Okay. If you do all the things that we talked about and work hard, you have a chance to be successful. You have a chance to be successful. If you don't do these things, there's a high probability you won't be successful. And you're responsible for the decisions you make from here. What kinds of questions do you guys have? I mean, there must be some questions. You obviously have a question. Yeah, because you're passing stuff back and forth. You're drawing. Okay, well that's one of the indices. Well, I doubt that. Never mind. Any other questions? Yes.
How long have you been speaking in front of others?
Most of my life, since high school. Okay? But you do that in the normal course of your career. And what is it that you'd like to do?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, all right. But in almost any career, you're going to be called upon to speak in front of people. And you're always nervous. I mean, I was nervous when I did the first class. But you get comfortable with it over time. And there's a group, I don't know if they're still around, called Toastmasters that help you with public speaking. And if you can join that, I mean, I don't know, you said you weren't sure what you want to do. I know you're in ROTC, so you may have some interest in the military or whatever.
Not really.
Okay, all right,
This is something that I enjoy.
okay. But everyone in here is going to be involved with speaking in front of people. And so it's a critical skill. Other questions or thoughts? You obviously are really active. You got an active mind and mouth. So what's on your mind? What's going to make you successful?
Good grades, freshman, sophomore year, do the junior, senior college program.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanic, open mechanic shop, do business over there, so I can own my own mechanic shop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just achieve, make money.
Okay. What about you, your partner over there? What's going to make you successful?
I don't know.
He hasn't figured out his job yet.
Okay. What about you? What's going to make you successful? Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, if you do the things that we've talked about, you have a real good chance to be successful. Gentleman in the corner, you said very little. What do you think is going to make you successful? I'm sorry, I didn't.
I don't know.
You don't know? Anybody who's comfortable with knowing what they need to do? Yes.
I want to be a realtor
Mm-hmm.
or something in the medical field, so I know that I need to go to college to be medical.
Okay. And in order to go to college, what has to happen?
Good grades,
Good grades?
high GPA.
Okay. Extracurricular events? Extracurricular stuff? You probably want to get a scholarship? Right? Okay. That means recommendations from teachers? Okay. What else? Lady in the back there. What's going to help you be successful?
Good having good grades and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody have any thoughts? Yes.
What's gonna make me successful is that not just having good grades, but being like, because I know to get your doctorate, you have to be an active member of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get my doctorate, so I can either become a mechanical engineer, a neurosurgeon, or more enlist.
Wait a minute. Okay. You want to get a doctorate. Everybody understand what a doctorate entails? You want to tell us? Go ahead.
Some more requirements for it. Well, a doctorate is basically the longest part you can go to college for, like 10, 12, I don't know how long it is,
Mm-hmm.
but years. You have to post a book, and my great aunt actually teaches at the college you were from.
Mm-hmm.
She's an English professor, and you have to make a book, and you have to do community service, and you have to be like public speaking. And I think if I got a doctorate, I could like know more about stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's great. That's really good. Getting a doctorate is, in a sense, as far as you go in learning, academic learning about a discipline. And that is a major ambition, and it can be a major accomplishment. And the requirements are obviously getting good grades in high school, getting good grades in undergraduate school, then you get a master's degree, then you get the doctorate, and that allows you to teach at a university level. So that's a great ambition. Well, you guys have been a good audience. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can certainly get to me through Ms. Miller. So thank you. I think time's basically up.